WZTO with two tremendous gentlemen here. Won't you introduce yourselves to the listening audience on WZTO Zero Time Off Radio Sports Talk?
Yes, Coach Bell, Chester High School.
Okay.
Head coach. Coach Charles, Chester Panthers.
Chester Panthers. So Charles has been on our show before. He's been giving some tremendous insight on coaching and the youth today. First of all, I just want to thank you, gentlemen. This is a beautiful event out here for the city of Chester, the kids, the youth coming involved. And some of the things I had to sit down at a brief conversation with Nelson Aguilar, and one of the things he was talking about was relationships. And he was talking about that's what helped him, his relationships in sports and football that helped him grow and develop into the player that he did and the struggles that he was having. You guys, can you just explain how this type of event benefits Chester and how it helps the kids and the youth and the community overall?
Man, so Chuck, you can start us off, man. Man, this is so awesome, just for the youth of the city of Chester. You know, especially being plagued with so much violence and negativity, just something positive that really shines and really makes a statement in these kids' lives. Like, they'll never forget this experience. Even the high school kids that are actually running the drills, they'll never forget this interacting with Nelson. Yeah. You know, it'll be in their minds forever. And that's the whole thing that it's about is trying to help these kids through some of their trials and tribulations that we deal with here in the city.
Absolutely. Just to add into what Chuck is saying, man, it's a privilege. You know, it's truly a blessing to be out here to pour into the kids. This is truly not about, you know, us at all, and that's the first thing. Yeah. You know, as we come out here, man, we're servants, we're leaders, but at the same time we're servants. So we kind of like put ourselves to the back to make sure that the kids get everything that they need. You know, why wouldn't we be out here to serve our community and to serve the young men on a Saturday when there could be other things going on?
Oh, definitely. And now, you got a question?
Hey, Coach Bell, I got a question for you. Normally when I run into you scouting, you in the field, I run into you at the high school games, you know, when Shy Chester playing someone, you know, y'all got to play one or the other next week.
That's right.
So I normally run into you when you scouting, but I wanted to ask you, you know, you being from Philadelphia, right?
No, I'm from Washington, D.C.
Washington.
Yeah.
All right, you being from Washington, like, what made you come to Chester and wanted to pour into the kids? I thank you for it, but I was curious about that.
Great question. Truthfully, man, I went to Cheney University.
Okay.
I was there for 4 years and blew my right knee out. And I played ball out there. You know, I was pretty talented, not to boast about it, but you know, I decided to stay, and I worked in the criminal justice field. So I worked out lineman, worked there for lineman for about 4 or 5 years, and transferred over to Chester County Community Center. So I've been working with the youth, troubled youth, for so long. And what I noticed when working with them, they were getting in trouble in school. So I pushed myself into getting into the educational component. And now I'm here as a phys ed teacher, now also the head coach. So truthfully what made me stay, man, is that we got a void, and you got two people in life. You got those who see the need and meet it, and you got those who just don't meet it. So I saw a need, and here I am.
All right. Yeah, I was just curious about that. I wanted to ask you that last year when I used to see you, but time was just not right. So
truth be told, man, it's really not where you are, is what you do where you are. And you know, our kids, man, what really hurt me, I was telling Chuck about this, when I rode down 9th Street and I saw so many T-shirts on top of sticks, you know, letting us know how many youth we had murdered.
Yeah.
That touched my soul. So, you know, Chuck and I were always trying to get our head to mesh to make sure that we get stuff going for the kids.
All right. Oh, definitely. And you guys have like formed a union. You guys are working together with the kids as far as the youth, from the football aspect of it. With you're doing it, the youth, and migrating over to the high school level. And that's really good, because that hadn't happened a lot of times. Because a lot of times it's been like, you know, everybody's trying to work positive, but I'm seeing more of a united front. And then when you come together in a united front, you have a strength in numbers and more powerful. Can you talk on that, Charles?
Sure, absolutely. There's always been a separation between youth football and high school football in the city. And I think that always plays a part of why a lot of kids, may have gone outside the district to go to school. Yeah. And then two, well, you know, we're not bringing up the emphasis of football at the high school level. Now that we're working together, the children in our program have a direct migration into the high school system because our oldest kids are being coached by the high school system.
Okay. Now, what advice, and we talk all the time, and Charles, you gave some great advice last time when we were talking about the social media aspect. And that social media aspect came up to light with the kid from Villanova and the quarterback from Wyoming.
Absolutely.
Some stuff they had done in the social media 10 plus years ago
Absolutely.
affected their status or their draft status. What advice do you have for parents and youth and players out here wanting to get involved in athletics? Some things they can do, and what should parents look at when they're looking at coaches, looking at a program to get involved in? What can they do?
I mean, one thing for sure, looking for a program to get involved in, well, you talked about a couple different things. You asked a couple different questions. So let's talk about the social media part first.
Yeah.
As far as social media, it's very important that as a student athlete and their parent also be careful and mindful of what you post. I mean, just today, we were accoladed today by the PR people for the Philadelphia Eagles on how nice our flyer was, and then he went on to say how important our Facebook page looked and our website, which means that he inquired into it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It came out, yeah.
And that's awesome, man, because that's what they're going to do. Because people want to get involved. They want to know who they will be associating themselves with, not just from the student athlete, but they want to know who they have in the stands also. So it's important that the kids keep social media as clean as possible.
Right. Definitely. Thank you. And the part about, go ahead. All right. Yeah, and that's really wrong because it may have ended up costing like the quarterback from Wyoming millions of dollars.
Absolutely.
He dropped down to 8th, and DiVincenzo from Villanova, it may affect his draft status. Something that you wouldn't even think about.
Right.
With something you've done when you're 14 or 13 years old, but everybody takes a look at it,
Right.
and that's a very social. The PR and how you present yourself is a big part of reality today,
Right,
and especially dealing with a program in any organization. The other aspect I was talking about, when parents want to get their kids involved in sports, what questions should they ask of like those coaches or that organization when they're bringing a kid to I want to join this group and play sports? Is there anything that they should look out for?
I'm gonna speak from the youth aspect, and it probably correlate with the high school too. I mean, one thing that we want to do is we want to make sure we don't just want athletes, we want student athletes.
Okay.
So one of the things that we like to do is try to make sure that the kids are academically sound or on the way to be academically sound.
Okay.
So I mean, you don't want to just necessarily shy a kid away. Some kids might just need some help. You might want to figure out how you can get this kid some help academically. The other part of it is, we want to see what your demeanor is.
Okay.
We don't need the thugs.
Yeah.
We need players. We need team players here.
Okay.
So that's basically where I would stay. As far as the questions I would ask, what type of environment are we bringing the kids into?
Coach, what type of players? You can elaborate what you're looking for at the high school level.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. This is a powerful question. Coming into this position, my immediate question to the players was who's taking their SATs. Mm-hmm. If I were to focus on just the game of football, listen, once we get off the gridiron, go home, have a good life. But it's what you're doing after this game. What it's taught me in the game of football is to be structured. And I think with that being structured, the young men need to know what structure is. It's going to help them academically. And then too, if you go to the collegiate level, you go to the higher level, it's not too much supervision. You're going to have to do some individualized work. That means that you're going to have to say, this is my time to study. Mm-hmm. So we try to instill that into the players now. So I told the players, we're not coaching you just for this year or just for high school ball. We're coaching you for collegiate ball. We need a preparation, and it's going to start now. So with SAT prep, planting a seed in their mind, you got to be SAT ready.
Yeah.
So it's a big emphasis on SAT prep. It's a big emphasis on being a student athlete and not just an athlete. we don't even, in fact, we don't even call our players. We call them student athletes.
Okay.
Just so they can get that in their mind.
Okay.
Let me make sure my academics are on point. And we praise, and not to cut you off, and we praise our kids when we get those honor rolls, and we get that student who's brung up a grade from, it could be 1 point, but who's brung that grade
They've
up.
done better.
We praise that because they're going to need it.
You're showing the effort already.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, and I think, and I think the one thing that that I like to talk to parents about, whether getting their kids involved in athletics, it's very helpful. Absolutely. It's very helpful for the discipline aspect of it and thing. And the one story that I like to reflect on is Edwin Moses, the great hurler. He was one of the greatest hurlers of all time. He went to Morehouse and was having some problems academically, whatever. And he wasn't a track guy. And he asked his parents, could he run track? And his dad was like, I sent you down there to be a Morehouse man, not exactly to run track. But his mom was like, no, it may help him, whatever. So he started running track and became one of the greatest hurdlers of all time and actually applied his engineering to the steps you take to use on the hurdles, which changed the way he did the hurdles different from everybody and won like 100 races, like in a way. So the athletics and anything that you're dealing with, sound body, sound mind, is very helpful in the development of an all-around child.
Absolutely.
And that's what I like to stress with parents and things like sports and athletics is just really, really good. And you guys are doing a tremendous job. I mean, I just want to thank y'all because you're always coached. Yeah, I mean, every time I see my coaches, they're coached. You're coached for life.
Absolutely.
Like, you know,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's always that. Definitely. Jonathan, you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question for Coach Bell. I mean, Charles can answer it too, but now that they went unlimited, like that was a big problem with like my age group. Like that was our big problem because we had the receivers, we had the running backs, we had a so-so quarterbacks, we had the linebackers, the safeties, but our line was so terrible. And to me, I feel as though the line.
You said that affected your
Couple
career,
of might be
Jonathan?
out here can help me out right now, but the line was bad, and I feel as though it was bad because they couldn't play weight league. So you had me on weight league, which was a running back when I got to high school, which was a cornerback when I got to high school, which played safety, and I was on the line in weight league, you know, because I was strong, you know, but I'm not going to play that going in. And then you see a kid that weighs 240, and you're like, okay, I got him blocking, but then when we go to practice, he can't even get in the stands. He fall on his face. Once you move his leg and his arm forward, he fall on the ground because he never was trained. Like, I don't know if y'all got any kids yet from the Unlimited League, and do it help? Did it?
Absolutely. What we're seeing now is steps of what we did behind the scenes.
Okay.
This is not Chuck and our first encounter. We've been discussing this thing for a while, and then God has just led it to be in fruition. But that's why we have the feeder program. We had one of our very own coaches who's the head coach at 14U. So he moves with the kids. He's not only is he a head coach, he's a transition coach. So he's watching them come to us. Hey, coach, I got so-and-so. This is what his weaknesses are. This is what his strengths are. And we build on that. And you're absolutely right. You may have a lineman who's a running back at this level.
Right.
So it's certain things that we teach. We working on our verbiage to make sure that with the 14U guys are working on, that's what we're working on. Some things won't be the same, but the concept and the schemes will be. Yeah, so that's what we're working on.
Definitely. Thank you. And Charles, you're seeing that benefit of the unlimited and being able to coach and get the guys on the field and be able to do work and stuff, and as it matriculates on to the high school level?
I mean, Johnny said it best, and that was a great analogy, or not even analogy, experience of what he actually experienced. We have kids. I got a kid out here now that's 9 years old, 5'4", 200 plus pounds. He would have never played weight ball ever in his life, you know what I mean? But he's going to naturally probably be a lineman for the rest of his whole football career.
Right.
And unlimited weight football force you to put kids at their natural positions. If you're a little smaller, play safety, you might play wide receiver, which are smaller kid or smaller men positions. You know what I mean? You pretty tall, you probably be a quarterback because you can see over the whole line. So, I mean, honestly, as far as for the city, and I said this like 3 years ago, I said in 4 years, the city of Chester, this was actually before Bell even got here, I said whoever's coaching the high school football team is going to be happy that the Chester Panthers went unlimited. Now, we have kids out here now that might even go from ninth grade straight to varsity because of their size and their ability to play. And they never would have been able to develop that if they weren't playing football, if we didn't have unlimited weight football. So I think it's big, you know what I mean? It's big. Get these kids off the couch, get them moving, you know what I'm saying? And we were saying, I mean, I'm watching kids out here now. One kid in particular, Farouk Rashid, big kid, never played a game before. In 3 years now, he's been playing for 3 years, and he's nimble. He can move, you know what I'm saying? Like, he can really move. That he might even go fullback this year. I don't know, you know what I mean? That's how well he can move now. But he would have never been able to do it if it wasn't for unlimited weight football.
Cool. Great
Because
question.
normally they start you off like they see you in ninth grade and say, all right, about time 12, he'll be all right.
Right.
But now, that's too late. It's too late. But now, since you can work him out now at 8 years old, you can get him on that line at 8 years old. So now, when Coach Bell get him, he already know how to get in the stands.
Right.
He already know how to take off if he a
Right.
linebacker, if he a DN.
And
He already know these things now. You
You know
know
where to put his head at. You
Right.
know,
And having art and talk, discussing the verbiage, he'll already know what a 1 block is,
Right.
a 2 block, 3
He already
block.
know
You
how
know,
to
he'll
shuffle his
already
feet.
know exactly.
Right. Because I have
So-
friends, they never got to play. They didn't get to play till high school, and it hurt. It hurt them. You know, in the long run, it hurt them. You know, 12th grade, they did pretty good because just their will to play.
Right.
But they lost so much on
Yeah.
getting there, you know, because they missed 15, they missed 8 years of playing.
What you're saying is process, and this Chuck and I have been preaching this thing to each other for a while. We got to embrace the process, and we got to be patient with the process. And we're starting to see it move now, and it's just over time we're going to definitely see the fruit of it. We're just watching the kids as they're young and develop. As you said, by your senior year, you have tools under your belt now.
Right.
And if you were to get a senior, and this is their first year as a senior, first year playing with us, it's really hard to get anything, you know, it's hard to retain anything. So
Right.
that's definitely why we're merging and starting young.
Right.
Cool. Definitely. Look, I just want to thank you guys again for all you do in the community, and we'll definitely talk again. WZTO, we committed to the Sports Talk Radio. We talk a lot about pro sports, everything like that, but we're definitely committed to the community and the youth programs. We're trying to get that information out there. Anything you guys need or anything from us, feel free to contact me, and we're willing to help. But just again, thank
man,
you.
appreciate
Thank
you,
I know
man.
dedication.
Yep,
to y'all.
appreciate you,
the
man.
kids.
Catch you at another scout.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. Thanks again.
Hey man,
Thank you
shout
again
out to
for
Coach
having me.
Al Layton, man.